Hey folks, Roland Martin here. Of course, today is Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. We are broadcasting live from Tyler Perry Studios here in Atlanta. Of course, and the location, of course, is quite interesting because we are here in the East Room. This is literally the 80% mock of the White House. This is where Tyler Perry's show on BET, The Oval, is shot. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, she is holding a reception here. In addition, there's going to be a watch party here as well. People are going to be watching the debate here tonight. In addition to that, there's also going to be a post party. And so we had an opportunity to broadcast live from here. I was invited by the mayor to attend this event. Then I said, well, hey, since we're going to be here, could we broadcast? They got permission from Tyler Perry Studios, and we are here. This is, first of all, an amazing facility, more than 300-acre lot, this studio. Tyler Perry opened 5 years ago. Remember, I was here for his grand opening, and so it was amazing then, amazing now. Tonight's debate, folks, is going to be taking place on Soundstage 1, the Oprah Winfrey Soundstage, the largest one on this lot. Many of those sound stages are named after prominent African Americans like Harry Belafonte, Diane Carroll, Whoopi Goldberg, Spike Lee, Halle Berry, Denzel Washington, and others. And so, as I said, Anthony, do me a favor, zoom out here. And so where we are, and so if you've been to the actual White House, most of the major events, gospel concerts, stuff like that, take place in the East Room. And so this is a mock, if you will, of the East Room. And so as you see, folks have been arriving for all this time, and so all the chairs are set up in here. Earlier we took a tour of this whole place, White House offices, the Oval Office, the residences as well. As I said, Tyler Perry's show, The Oval, which airs on BET, which is a White House drama, is shot in this facility, 35,000 square feet. It is, and so it's amazing to be here, to be in the White House, but in Atlanta on the Tyler Perry studio lot. And so folks have been coming in. So what's happening is over here. So that's the foyer there. That's where the reception is taking place. We are here, of course, for the Democratic debate that's taking place tonight. A number of candidates are going to be here. This is going to be airing, of course, tonight on MSNBC. It's co-hosted by MSNBC and the Washington Post. And so it's going to be also a debate where 4 women are going to be serving as moderators. It is going to be an interesting one because we, of course, in the city, frankly, built by the likes of Maynard Jackson, Andrew Young, of course, Maynard Jackson again, Bill Campbell, Shirley Franklin, Kasim Reed, and now Keisha Lance Bottoms. And so it's going to be interesting to see what issues are raised tonight. I would certainly hope black economics comes up. That's sort of important. And so that'd be great to actually see that. Now, let me also explain to you, normally when we do this show, we have, of course, our show open, our graphics, but the problem is that a water line issue burst actually outside of our building or inside of the building. Our building is completely shut down, so my staff could not get into office today. And so our traditional show, where we have panelists and folks along those lines, is not taking place. As you see, the mayor is right there. Go ahead, Anthony, you need to pan to her. She's there with her family. And so folks are taking tours, and so we took a tour a little bit earlier of this facility, and so hopefully in a second we'll be able to have a conversation with her. But again, no, so this is just an unbelievable place. So like I say, East Room, reception, you got Blue Room over there. You've got the Oval Office. They actually have it downstairs. Then they have the residence upstairs. They've got a rose garden, all this sort of stuff. And so it's pretty cool. As I said, this is a much different debate. We, of course, were in Houston at Texas Southern University, where the debate was held on the campus of that HBCU. This is totally different. I've been to many other debates. First of all, I don't recall a debate being held on a movie studio lot, but it is being held here. And so massive security to even get on this lot, and that's what's going on. So, like I said, it's a little bit different here what's going on with our folks in terms of how we do the show. And so we're waiting on some of our normal panelists who are going to be coming through here. Amisha Cross, she's going to be here. Monique Presley, they're going to be coming through. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, and also Cornell Belcher, a Democratic pollster. He is here. I'm trying to grab him as well to get him to come through, and so we're waiting to talk to him as well. As I said, huge night tonight because with the Democratic debate, the candidates are going to be on stage. You've seen changes in this race. Of course, Michael Bloomberg signaled he is going to enter. Deval Patrick, former governor of Massachusetts, he has already entered the race. They're not participating in tonight's debate. But what is happening, and some of the candidates like Julian Castro is not going to be on the debate stage. He did not qualify for tonight's debate. But you will, of course, have Vice President Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Amy Klobuchar, Tulsi Gabbard, Senator Kamala Harris, Senator Cory Booker. All of them will be Tom Steyer. All of them will be on the stage tonight. The stakes, folks, are a little bit different now. Of course, as we're moving closer to the first election, you're going to see things change. Last debate, lots of folks targeting Senator Elizabeth Warren. She shot up the polls. This time around, latest polls coming out of Iowa, Mayor Pete Buttigieg sitting at the top of the polls. Don't be surprised if he is the center of attention tonight. And so you have Senator Kamala Harris. She, of course, is going to be wanting to make a move as well up the polls. She desperately needs to have a breakout performance tonight in order to stabilize her campaign. She was doing very well this summer, but she has been reeling for the past 3 to 4 months. And so we'll see what happens with her. Senator Cory Booker has not been able to gain any traction whatsoever throughout this campaign. And so we're going to be watching to see what happens with him as well. But sort of what I'm looking at, what are the issues that are going to be raised tonight? Are you going to see issues dealing with economics? Are you going to see housing come up tonight? Will you have something come up dealing with the Supreme Court? Judicial picks. Today, the Senate approved the 48th Circuit Court nominee of Donald Trump. Obama only got 55 of those in 8 years. So what's going to happen there? And so hopefully you're going to see the moderators ask those questions. We also, of course, saw what happened today on Capitol Hill. That is the impeachment hearings. Do not be surprised if that's also going to be a major issue that comes up in tonight's debate. And so lots of things that we're going to be looking for. We're certainly going to be looking for your comment, looking for folks to speak about, what's going on. But again, I am very hopeful that we're going to see a connection between issues that are important to African Americans and this debate. We, of course, are in Atlanta, a city that was changed by black politics. You heard me talk about this a lot. Maynard Jackson, when he became mayor of Atlanta, African Americans were receiving 0.0012% of all city contracts. That all changed when he took over. That is critically important. You've had Pete Buttigieg, who announced that he wants for 25% of all federal contracts to go to African Americans. Part of his Marshall Plan. Expect that also to be one of the issues that you see raised tonight. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what takes place, what is brought up by these candidates. We're going to be looking at all of this very closely because more and more voters are now paying attention. What is happening, of course, you have Iowa, the first caucus is there, then you have New Hampshire, Nevada, and of course the critical state, South Carolina, where more than 40% of all folks who are going to be voting in that primary are African American. And so that's also what we're looking at there. And so several different things. So we're waiting. Again, security is so tight on this lot. Some of our guests have been detained, and so we certainly are looking for them, waiting for them to come out here as well. As I said, some of the candidates did not make the stage, but they've still been having events. You had, of course, Julian Castro had an event last night at Pascal's with Angela Rye. He, of course, still in town, and everyone is taking advantage of being in the city. And so what is happening is you've got Senator Kamala Harris. She's going to be having an event in the morning at 8:30. We're going to be broadcasting that right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered. She's going to be having an event with Higher Heights, the black female group that actually endorsed Kamala Harris. That breakfast is going to be taking place. Congresswoman Marsha Fudge, they're going to be hosting that breakfast. We'll be broadcasting it at 10 a.m. Buttigieg is going to be having a black barbershop event not far from there. One of his folks was here, and so she certainly invited me to come on out to that event. And then also he's having a private event with black women. And so Atlanta is a critical market for all these Democratic candidates when it comes to fundraising, when it comes to all of that. And so that's what we are looking at. They're looking for all those endorsements. They're looking for civil rights leaders. And so it's very interesting to see the role that this city is going to play. Also, Stacey Abrams. Everybody, of course, is trying to get on her radar. She, of course, her role they put it in play in terms of will Georgia be in play? Will Georgia be a purple state? Will they be able to fight back voter suppression from the governor, Brian Kemp? Will they be able to have an impact? And can Democrats compete effectively in Georgia? So many things that we're looking at, we're paying attention to, we're trying to see. And so tonight is going to be huge. Tonight's going to be huge, again, because the field is narrowing, and as a result, what is going on is you're going to see just, I believe, a different type of debate. I just hope, though, the people who are asking the questions don't spend all damn night talking about foreign policy, talking about Ukraine, on stuff along those lines. Are we going to hear the bread and butter issues that we care about? Are we going to hear housing? Are we going to hear those type of issues? Are we actually going to hear economics? Are we going to hear about small businesses? Are we going to hear about HBCUs? Of course, you've got 3 HBCUs here. Actually, well, 4 if you want to include Morris Brown. But you've got Clark Atlanta, you've got Spelman, you got Morehouse, you got Morris Brown as well. But also you got Georgia State, where a large number of African Americans go as well. Are we going to hear about student loans? We're going to hear about those things. That's what we want to know. That's what is a big issue, and then we're going to be watching out for it. I mentioned earlier how polling has changed. Again, in Iowa, Pete Buttigieg is now in first place in Iowa. Folks are looking at that. A new poll came out showing that. You also, of course, have Joe Biden, still a strong lead in South Carolina, largely because he is running away with the black vote there. But again, South Carolina is about 100 days away before they vote. A whole lot can change. Will Vice President Joe Biden be strong tonight? He's been iffy, if you will, several of these nights. What is actually going to happen there as well? And so many different storylines that we're paying attention to, looking out for, that takes place in a Democrat debate tonight. The next Democratic debate is going to be taking place in December 19th, I believe, in Los Angeles. We will not be there because I'll actually be in Ghana for a 10-day trip. But again, that's the last debate of 2019. And so it's going to be really important for the candidates to come out strong tonight on the issue that voters are talking about, the bread and butter issues. One of the things that I hope for, that you're going to see a Democratic candidate talk about the welfare that Donald Trump is giving to farmers, more than $28 billion. He tweeted earlier this week he's going to be giving more money to these farmers. This is for a problem that he created with his tariffs. And so isn't it amazing how we say we can't fund HBCUs, we can't fund other issues, we can't fund food programs, but Donald Trump Republicans are able to find $28 billion for farmers. They call it subsidies, but with black folks, they'll call it welfare or call it handouts. They actually have nothing to say about that. And so, again, so much is going to be happening. Festive occasion here. We're looking forward to tonight. I am going to be in the debate hall watching it here, but I also might be here as well. And so that's where we are. Now, as we were coming in, there were a number of people who were outside, protesters outside. There was a whole contingent of folks there for Pete Buttigieg. He had a number of African Americans out there, but also on the school choice side, school choice, the charter schools, Save Our Charter Schools, Howard Fuller and others. I'm a part of that coalition. They also are making their presence known, being very critical of Senator Elizabeth Warren and Senator Bernie Sanders for their comments critical of charter schools. We did not see other protesters out there. We did not get to see who they were. We're just waiting to see who else shows up. And so that's what's going on here. And so, again, lots and lots of things going on. Don't be surprised, of course, what took place today, the impeachment hearing, is going to be also a huge deal. Ambassador Sondland talked today about the quid pro quo, that absolutely it was approved by Donald Trump, and how that was a huge, huge issue that is coming up. And so this is going to be, I think, an electric night. But the question is, will the black candidates, what will they do? How will they stand out? Here's also some news I'm reading right now. Michael Bloomberg is planning to spend an estimated $15 to $20 million on voter registration drives to weaken Donald Trump's re-election chance in 5 battleground states. That's according to tweet here from Eugene Scott, and so we are watching that and paying attention to it, and so that's what's going on here. And so again, they are going to be the folks who are going to be a difference maker. What role will they play? Are you actually going to see again Bloomberg or Deval Patrick play a role in this race? I doubt it. I don't necessarily think so. I think this field, in many ways, is set. People want to see the field shrink as opposed to increase. And so we'll see. But let me talk tonight about, again, the black candidates that are here. You have Senator Kamala Harris and Senator Cory Booker. The person who I believe has to have a breakout night is Senator Kamala Harris. She did not do it in Houston, did not take advantage of being on an HBCU campus. The largest applause line that she got when she talked about the importance of black teachers when it comes to black children going to college. That was a big point for her. Pretty much the rest of the night, nothing else. Senator Cory Booker, he is running in many ways as the hope candidate. He is someone who is talking about hope and change. Look, I think, frankly, this election cycle, voters don't want to hear another Obama. I'm just being straight up honest. I don't think they want to hear another Obama. They want to see a fighter, somebody who's going to fight and take on Donald Trump. But here's what also I think that you're seeing in this race, that people are learning, that you can't just be black and run. There's no indication where just because you're black, you're going to get the black vote. That is simply not the case. You have to fight for it. You have to earn it. And I think that's what we're also seeing. And so it is going to be very difficult, I believe, for Senator Harris and as well as Senator Cory Booker to vault up the chain. They can. It can actually happen. But right now, they're polling horribly in Iowa, polling very low in New Hampshire. And again, they are not in the top 4 in South Carolina. That is going to be actually not in the top 3. Now let's do a Pete Buttigieg. He's got a black problem. He's polling at 0% among African Americans. There's a reason you are seeing a significant number of people, black folks, with their Pete Buttigieg signs outside of the Tyler Perry studios as folks are coming. Because what they are trying to do is they want to be able to have those voices. They want to be able to show his support. But he has to be able to speak to African Americans. Watch for that to happen tonight. I know for a fact, in talking to his camp, he has been primed. He is going to try to speak to the issues of African Americans and economics. That's something to watch out for as well. He has no choice. He is not polling well among African Americans. Again, leading in Iowa. Those Midwestern voters, he's, of course, the mayor, South Bend, Indiana, neighboring state. His message is appealing to them, but it is not resonating among African Americans. There's no way Pete Buttigieg can capture the nomination if he cannot draw black support. That's one of the things that we're also looking out for. And so watch for a lot of those things tonight. Watch for Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, to really focus on black women in what she is saying tonight. And so that's one of the things that we also are going to be looking out for tonight when she goes on stage. Then, of course, you have Senator Bernie Sanders. Don't be surprised if he makes some Killer Mike references. One of the reasons I keep turning around again, because I'm looking at the people who are coming in here, because I'm going to be grabbing some folks to do a quick interview with them. And so that's why I'm sort of turning around. And so that's what I'm doing. And so we're going to be trying to grab some folks. Again, I was just texting my man Cornell Belcher. Huh? Yep. And so to come on down, so waiting to chat with him. And so that's what we're doing. So, folks, it is, again, lots to watch out for tonight that I want you to be paying attention to when you're watching the debates. And so look for those key things for African Americans. I mentioned Senator Bernie Sanders. I watched Killer Mike get a shout-out. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to reference Cardi B. This is going to be a largely black audience tonight. And so even though this is a debate, it's going to be shown across the country, African Americans should be center stage. The question is, will Rachel Maddow, Kristen Welker, will you have Andrea Mitchell, will they be asking questions that black folks care about? Now, Urban One is supposed to be a partner in tonight's debate. In the initial press release that went out, Urban One was supposed to be showing this debate on their digital platforms and airing on Radio One. In the last few announcements, I've seen nothing about Urban One at all. In fact, I haven't even gotten any kind of post or anything from Urban One. So I wonder if Urban One, frankly, dropped out of the whole deal. Not quite sure. So we'll see. That's one of the things that we're looking at. So and we're watching all of that, folks. And so, matter of fact, I'm trying to check right now. No black media organization has been a co-host of any of these debates so far, which is a damn shame. But when I look at, I looked at, I saw nothing from news1.com. I got no emails or nothing along those lines. And so I wonder if they dropped out of this, which is a doggone shame. I'm looking at news1.com right now, and I don't see anything on their homepage indicating if they're going to be showing the debate on their platforms tonight. And so that makes no sense to me. And so I don't really understand what happened there. And so I'm going to send a couple of text messages to some folks with the Democrat National Committee to find out what happened to Urban One and their involvement in tonight's debate. And so hopefully I'm able to get the attention of the mayor. I had her this morning at the Tom Joyner Morning Show. And so hopefully we can get her. I did interview her outside as she was coming in. But again, of course, because we can't, our control room is down. We can't be able to send the video back. And so we're trying to get her. Also, we're going to pull Cornell Belcher down in a second as well to chat with him and chat with some other folks who are here. This reception started. Again, around 6 o'clock, as the people are coming in. We have a call. To go over to the other facility at 7:30, and so that's what we're waiting on to go to the sound stage. Even though the debate is starting at 9 o'clock, we got to make our way over to the sound stage, go through security to be there. They want folks in their seats 1 hour before the debate actually takes place. So that's one of the things they're going to be doing as well. And so that's where we are, folks. So again, we're here, Tyler Perry Studios. What Democratic debate is taking place tonight, airing on MSNBC, co-hosted by MSNBC and the Washington Post. And so it's going to be quite the night, I believe, as we see this Democratic debate takes place. Some of the other people here who were invited I've run into. There are some state officials. There's some folks from South Carolina. There are folks from Georgia, some different people who are here. And so the mayor's invited all kind of folks who are going to be watching the debate here as opposed to being in the room in there. So it's going to be jam-packed in there. So we'll be certainly watching it in here, looking, of course, shooting reaction and getting the reaction from folks in here as well. Now, some of you are asking questions, so go ahead. Let me do this here. I see some of y'all on YouTube. You have some questions. Go ahead and ask those questions now, and I can go ahead and try to answer some of those questions. But let me, let me do this here. I'm gonna go back to what is going on with black media, and let me go ahead and say this. I think it's a damn shame that black media, a traditional black media, is not involved in these debates. Let me say it again. It's a damn shame. Here's what I don't understand. There are 8 black networks that target African Americans. Okay? You heard me talk about this before. They do 1,344 combined hours of content a week. Not 1 hour of news. All right? I don't understand why BET, Her, TV One, Clio TV, their sister network, Aspire, Revolt, Own, and Bounce don't come together and say, hey, let's share the cost of doing a debate. The debates is probably $600,000. Okay, maybe $700,000. If each of the networks said we're going to chip in $50,000, what would it say if a Democratic presidential debate is broadcast on all 8 networks that target African Americans. Think about that. So you mean to tell me that a 2-hour debate is somehow going to wreck the ratings of these networks for the entire year? Think about how that even sounds. So every 4 years, there's a presidential campaign. Every 4 years. And somehow, 2 hours is going to somehow just wreck your whole rating schedule. That, to me, is utter nonsense. And so, reason we're here is because this is important. It's important for us to be here, to cover what is happening here. So when the debate is over, to be in the spin room where the candidates are going to be, to be able to get those interviews. All of that stuff is important. But for some reason, we are not seeing that. And I think it's a shame. I think it's an abomination that we're not seeing any of that. And so I think black folks are hurt. Because frankly, I'm tired of us being fed entertainment. It's about time that these black media outlets step up and do more. Here we are. Think about this here. Here we are on a studio, African American owned, by Tyler Perry. That's where we are. Okay? The debate is taking place on a soundstage called the Oprah Winfrey Soundstage. And no black networks. Okay, so here's the deal. Do me a favor, Anthony, if you can zoom in on the mayor there while she's addressing the folks here.
First of all, I just want to thank Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry Studios for allowing us to be here for this debate. Can you all give them a round of applause? There are so many people, and Tony Conway and his entire team, but I hope that you all recognize, I'm sure just by being here, what this is. And as I was coming in and I was talking with Roland Martin, said I hate to say that I'm proud of an adult because it sounds like I'm speaking of one of my children, but just makes us all so proud. And when you look at how we've intersected the culture and the politics and the future of our nation together, it speaks to all of who we are. And I'm searching for the words because I'm just so full standing here. It is just nothing short of amazing what he's done on this land that used to be a Confederate stronghold. And we are here. We are here. And this moment is about so much. I mean, just a few feet away, there will stand the President of the United States. In the name of Jesus, somebody on that stage. But you got to be specific in your prayers. November of 2020, the President of the United States is here. And so many of you were with us 2 years ago, and almost 2 years ago to the day, when we were fighting just to make it through. And here we are, and I'm just grateful. And I'm grateful that so many of you all are here from across the country and just able to experience this magic. And as we came in a couple of days ago, someone said this is movie magic. There were, yesterday, it was about 100 people working around the clock so that we could be in this space. And the extraordinary part is this is the first event that's ever been held in this space. And to go back to even how we got here, we pushed and prayed and fussed and screamed about getting the debate to Atlanta. And then the debate was going to Sandy Springs. I'm like, I'd rather y'all go to Augusta. You know? for us to be here. Not just this, but for the debate. I see Farron back there, and I know I'm going to get in trouble when I start calling names. But so much support has been given to make it possible for the nation to see that Atlanta and Georgia matter in this election. So I know we have a lot of elected officials here. If I start to call names, I'll get in really big trouble because I'll miss some folks. But if you can just wave your hand, all of our elected official friends, we've got mayors here, we've got city council members, state representatives, senators, and I'm sure for the after party we'll have some presidential hopefuls here too. I don't know if my candidate Joe Biden's going to be at the after party, but this is really about the celebration. So I just want to thank you all again. Thank you to everybody who made it possible for us to be here, and also Alana, Carmen, Joshua, Ebony, wherever you are. Sarah was with us until 10 o'clock Friday night, and so many, I'm going to get in trouble calling names, but just thank you to all the staff, and just enjoy. Make sure you go upstairs and check out the living quarters. Make sure you go downstairs and check out the Oval Office. Tours will end at 8 o'clock. Thank you. And I think there are going to be some instructions from Tony on if you're going to the debate. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as the mayor said, right behind me are the tours to the Oval Office and the press room. That'll be downstairs. Those will go until 8 o'clock. The residences upstairs are open through the evening. You can see that. Those of you that have a debate, those of you that have a ticket to the actual debate, we have a shuttle that will leave here promptly at 7:30, right outside the doors, and there will not be a second shuttle. So 7:30, you have to be in your seat by 8 p.m. So we're going to get you right over there. And then we'll start the viewing in the room behind me, and we have screens in here, so we'll view the debate from here where we've got alcohol and food while they're sitting over in that empty room over there with nothing to eat. But have a great time. Yes, ma'am. And for those of you that are at the debate, just one more time, if you're at the debate and you're coming back here, you'll take the same shuttle. It'll bring you back here, and then we'll have shuttles that will rotate through the evening back to Lakewood to your cars. All right? So have a great time. Someone will be right outside here checking your name to get on the shuttle. Thank you, LaShawn. Someone. All right, have a great time. DJ, if you'll start it up, thank you.
All right, folks, Roland Martin here, so I'm going to connect the microphone back up, so we can connect that. And so that was Atlanta Mayor Q, Lance Bottom. Hi, Malik. So, Forrest, how you doing? Give me 1 second, folks. Let's go. Okay. All right, folks, so we did not expect that to happen, so we're glad it did. So I know it might look a little funky, us having to move the camera the way we did, but that's what happens. Monique Presley, lawyer who's often on our show, is here in Atlanta for the debate as well. What are you looking for tonight?
Well, I'm looking to see which candidate is going to do the right thing. We heard so much in the past few days from the GOP about their president. We've heard so much about the illegal activity that has been going on in the White House. And after today, when Sondland got on the stand and sang like a canary, I need for those Democratic debate candidates to not just come in and talk about vision for the future, but what they're going to do to make sure that Trump gets out of this White House. That's what I want to hear. They have to deal with it directly, and I know that MSNBC has been making some adjustments all day long so that they can pose those questions too, because it's on the hearts and minds of everybody who's been watching.
I do expect them to talk about Sondland, but I do hope they realize that we're in a black city, and a hell of a lot more issues come up dealing with housing, dealing with economics, the history of Maynard Jackson, Andrew Young, all these different black mayors, because that to me is also what's been missing. Bread and butter issues that resonate with black folks and everybody else, and frankly, moderators have not been going there.
No, and it's just like Mayor Keisha just said. They wanted to bring something supposedly to a black city, and then it was going to end up being in Sandy Spring, but for Tyler Perry Studios. So I'm thankful for all that we're in right now. But yes, to me, the first thing that has to happen is we have to have a president in the Oval Office who cares about black folks, not just by bringing them in for a song and a dance, but it's going to actually do something for them. And each one of those candidates has to say what that is. And I don't just want some bullet points that they came up with last week, Roland. And you know there's one candidate in particular I got some issues with about that, Mayor Buttigieg. But they can't just come up with talking points. It has to be that they have demonstrated doing work in our communities and have a plan to take us forward.
Now, I think tonight, I said it in Houston, the TSU debate, September 15th, huge, huge, huge for Senator Kamala Harris. I do not believe she took advantage of it. If she wants to be real in this race, she's got to kick some serious butt on this stage tonight.
Well, yes, and here's the thing. She kicks butt on every stage that she gets on. Sometimes she gets the credit for kicking butt, sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes her campaign takes advantage of it, sometimes they don't. But I'm here to tell you there are black women who are mobilizing as we speak. This is a big, huge weekend for black women. There's the Black Women's Power Breakfast that's taking place tomorrow that's sponsored by Higher Heights PAC and sponsored by the Collective PAC. And then there's going to be events all in South Carolina to do the push that she needs, because listen, I'm not going to pretend that there isn't a major African-American female candidate, a black woman on stage who is a viable contender for president of the United States, and black folks need to get their act together and get behind that. She doesn't have to be your candidate for you to mind her being done dirty, and we see the way the mainstream media is treating not just her but Cory Booker as well. We looked at, for Mayor Pete, they've 659 times, I think it is, talked about the fact that he's a Rhodes Scholar. Cory Booker's a Rhodes Scholar. Cory Booker used to be a mayor before he became a United States Senator. So why is it that our people are not being given what they should be? Yes, there are issues with campaigns, and campaigns have to take responsibility, but so do we, because they do what we require, and there ought to be an outcry, as far as I'm concerned, behind the way our candidates are being treated as people of color.
But these are the big moments, and the reality is millions will be watching. The last couple of debates, TSU, great response, talking about black teachers, but then sort of disappeared with the rest. Again, to me, this is where, and I keep saying this, and I hope our campaign listens, and I wish they listened last time, you have to get the room on your side. To me, if I'm a candidate, I walk out there, I'm saying, first of all, giving props to Tyler Perry, but I'm saying I am going to be co-signing Maynard Jackson and Andrew Young and Shirley Franklin and all those different mayors, because that, when you get the room on your side, it basically reverberates from the floor to the stage, from the stage to the audience.
I agree, but what I'm wondering, and maybe you've got better numbers on this than I do, is who's really in that room? Because the reason it took me so long getting to this section is because I started off in the security checkout for all of the VIPs that were headed to the debate, and there really weren't a lot of people on our big, long security bus. You know, we got a police escort to get in here, and it was a super long bus, and it was a lot more people who were not black than were. Now, when you look at the lines of the people going in, it's a little bit even.
Right. But part of the problem is that these debates are for Democratic donors. Yeah. That is the reality. and what they should be for the people in these cities. Unfortunately, you didn't have a lot of people from the public who were at the debate in TSU, and there were available seating. There should have been more people in that room.
Right. Well, I know there's not like one seat left. People were trying to like sell a baby to get seats in there. There's no seats left, but I just wonder if the job was done, as you said, to make sure that it represents the local community as well as representing what is, the big higher ups of the Democratic Party. But either way, you still have to take the room, because if you take the room, then you get the energy that goes along with that. That's effective communication 101, that you got to get your room, and then you get the wider audience with it. And I think it's going to be a big night. I think it's going to be a big night for Harris. I'm looking for it to be just a steady, consistent night for Biden, the same way the rest of them have been.
I don't know. He's going to he's been frankly a little unsteady. I
meant by steady. His is like kind of on and off again. He's the candidate that everybody's kind of like, we know what we're getting, which means we don't know what we're getting, but it's not going to be that bad. But I would like to see a strong night from Booker. I would like for Gabbard to get finished off, frankly, because she has worked my reserve nerve. So if this is the last time that I have to, was I not supposed to say that? If this is the last time, I know I'm in the Democratic House, but I mean it. No, she is a Republican that is wearing a Democratic button on her jacket that says, vote for me, I'm a Democrat. And that's not what this time is. This time is not for all of that. We have to have people who really believe in the core values of our party, the party platform, and want to do things for the people who get them voted. Who gets them voted, Roland? Black women over 45. I'm the block. So I want to know what they're going to say to black women over 45 tonight. That's what I want to know.
Last debate, Senator Warren was actually the one who they targeted for Medicare for all. Latest polls has Buttigieg in first place in Iowa. He's gonna get the treatment tonight.
Do you know how many people were in that poll? If you scan that room over there, that's the people who were in that poll. I'm not gonna let myself be impressed by that. He has some, and then media wants to call it a surge. Buttigieg surges, and then they figure out how many black people want him. 0. He's polling at 0% for black voters. There's no way he's getting elected with those kinds of numbers. So I don't care where he surges, he cannot get the job done. Do you know how black women over 45 feel about him? Unimpressed. I'm right here. I'm telling you, that's where we are.
What about Sanders? What mustn't he do tonight? Why are you looking like that?
Because you're trying to get in my issues. Let me make this plain. Whoever is the Democrat nominee is getting my vote, and I'm going to put everything I have behind that nominee, because if Trump is still president at the time that happens, then it's all hands on deck. But I haven't seen anything from Senator Sanders this time that I didn't see last time. And I don't care how many Bernie Bros or anybody else want to come after me, he didn't get the job done. So I'm looking for improvement. I'm looking for better answers. Every time he's asked a question, whether it's about reparations, whether it's about how he's going to pay for his policies, whether it's about what he's going to do for African Americans, he still seems part tone deaf and part absent action, and that's not going to get the job done. I don't care that he can give a whole lot of rah-rah. We need more than rah-rah. We need somebody who has a depth of understanding of the issues for black people, but for the country, period, and is going to be able to fix them. And that's just that's not where he is with me.
All right. Well, look, we got to head over in about 11 minutes to the debate site. It shall be interesting. 9 p.m. Eastern. It airs on MSNBC. Again, hope for some damn black questions.
Deuces.
All right, Monique, thanks a lot. All right, folks. Look, we're going to cut this short. Of course, again, the reason we started late, our control room in Washington, D.C., my staff could not even get into the building today because of a water main issue. And so that's what happened there. And so, unfortunately, we couldn't do our normal show, but we made the best possibility here. We're going to be, of course, in the spin room. We're going to be doing some interviews there, talking to folks there. So we look forward to being there. We might even go live with you guys later, and so we'll see how that happens a little bit later. And so I see, is that Bill Campbell there? I think that's Bill, the former mayor of Atlanta. And so I'll see if I can try to grab him real quick. So, folks, that's where we are. here at Tyler Perry Studios, here in the White House, on his lot. Looking forward to tonight's debate. We'll see you guys afterwards. Either we'll go live or we'll simply shoot our interviews, and we'll have those for you tomorrow on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Okay? Y'all take care. Holla. You want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. See that name right there? Roland Martin Unfiltered. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's YouTube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so when we go live, you'll know it. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.
Hey everybody, this is Sherry Shepherd. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered, and while he's doing Unfiltered, I'm practicing the wobble. Yes, I am. Because Roland Martin's the one, he will do it backwards, he will do it on the side. He messes everybody up when he gets into the wobble, because he doesn't know how to do it, so he does it backwards. And it just messes me up every single time. So, I'm working on it. I got it. You got Roland Martin.
Hi, my name is LaToya Luckett, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mac Wiles, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What's up, y'all? It's Ryan Destiny, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
What up, Lana Well, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Hey fam, want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered? The blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. Check out our audio podcast. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Press play.